Yo ho ho, so today I'll be doing a review on The October Faction, written by Steve Niles and illustrated by Damien. Now you'll have to excuse the stickers on the cover. This is a library edition and there's nothing I can do about them, so let's just pretend that they're not there. So this follows the Allen family. Father Frederick is a former monster hunter who now teaches. His children, however, desperately want to get into the family business and they go out of their way to prove their knowledge and dedication to the cause. However, Frederick is very reluctant as it's such a dangerous job, but he also has bigger problems on his hands, a strained marriage and a past that comes back to haunt him. The kids were definitely my favourite characters in this, Vivian and Jeff. Very creepy, the fact that they can see things that normal people can't see, and I can't wait to see what their deal actually is in the next volume, or maybe it won't be explained at all because horror doesn't really need to be explained because that kind of defeats the purpose of it. One of the things about this is that it's a 6-issue trade, so I can never fully make up my mind whether I like it or not. I feel like I always need 12 issues to determine whether it's a good story or not, so I'm going to have to wait until volume 2. In this volume there's a lot of character building and getting to know the characters and their past. There is a threat to the family. It's not massive, it's not massively important. It seems to be more just setting up the family dynamic, which I personally don't mind. I feel like other people will mind. You know, there is some good action scenes in it, definitely, but it's not overly saturated with like violence and horror. And although the story is definitely building to something much bigger, we have to wait until volume 2 comes out, which is pretty disappointing. I found the artwork to be great. I thought it was really creepy and quite beautiful in places. Even though it's quite a dark, gritty comic, it uses a lot of colour, and I thought that just complemented the artwork perfectly. Like the greens, the reds, blues and purples just made everything really pop and really set the atmosphere for it. And in certain places the artwork reminded me of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It just had that kind of creepy vibe to it. There's a certain amount of panels that did anyway. However, if you're someone who likes facial consistency, this might not be the book for you because faces have a tendency to change due to the atmosphere or mood. And although I didn't have a problem with that, I feel like other people will. And although there aren't a lot of characters in this and it's very easy to tell who's who, some people still might have a problem with that. One thing that I will say about this is that I feel like there's a bit of a slip. One panel made the whole story extremely predictable, and I felt that if that panel had just been left out or just put into the end, it would have at least been maybe a slight shock to me, rather than me seeing the panel and thinking, oh, I bet this is what happens in the end, and sure enough that's what happens in the end, so that was rather disappointing. However, I am interested to see how volume 2 goes. Like I said, I can't really gauge my full opinion on it on just 6 issues. I'm interested because it sounds kind of corny, like a monster hunter. The kids go out of their way to summon and trap spirits. It seems to focus on every aspect of the paranormal. We've got werewolves and vampires and all that sort of good stuff. So if you're into horror and you want to check out a new comic, give this one a go. It definitely has a lot of creepy, weird, paranormal things in it that should be satisfactory to any horror fan. Like I said, I'm interested to see where this series goes and where Steve Niles decides to take it. And I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, which is a pretty solid rating from me. So those are my thoughts on The October Faction. Let me know if you've read this, what you think about it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.